Ronnie Blakey joined by Ross Williams. Ross, another exciting heat this one. Gabriel Medina won the contest here last year, and the way he's been free surfing, he's a really good chance at going back to back.
Well, if it's any indication, and also the writing was on the wall for that last heat for Kai Otten, also have been turning some heads in free surfs, but I'm right there with you, Ronnie.
His results have been pretty disappointing as the defending world champion, but while we're at the break, he did get off to a quick start, and he took to the air but was unable to ride out of that alley-oop. And Jeremy Flores also grabbing himself a ride, grabbing that rail, driving off the bottom, a huge turn to get started, and then tucked into the barrel and found his way through that tricky curtain before making his way right through to the inside and taking to the air, not riding out of that move, but a huge first turn from Flores on his first wave.
Can hack it up, so that wind will turn that on.
Movement in the lineup now. CJ Hobgood uses priority for this one, drifts the fins and climbs up vertically once again into the pocket. Not a huge turn, but the third maneuver strong. Almost loses his footing, trying to drive through that big frontside carve before kicking off on the inside.
He's not posturing, he's not trying to flex on anyone. Just seems to be out here surfing as good as he can. Love that fade there. CJ always has had one of the best styles in the business. Syrupy right there, but just got a little slipped up there. His fin skipped out for just a half a second there and got a little off balance, but you can see, watch as he comes straight into that pretty powerful move there, banging the fins out the back, but just lost a bit of speed. And right here, you watch that skip, back foot almost comes off, but he recovers. So because of that little bobble, the judges they'll be slightly harsh. Going to keep that score in the mid-range.
And we'll get to him in just a moment, but let's have a look at what unfolds here. We had Jeremy taking off out the back, but utilising priority. Gabriel Medina driving up into the lip there. Great transition turn. Throws the tail. Can't complete the reverse. 28.5 minutes to go. Let's hear from the winner of the last heat with Todd Klein.
Not have to posture so much, let the shoulders drop and compete the way they want to.
Well, Gabriel Medina is just keeping really busy, just trying to find his rhythm out here in this lineup, and he's doing it with this ride. Two big turns to get started. Third turn, he just digs in as hard as possible before belting the end section.
Practice at Cloud Break, and he has been on fire. It looks like Gabriel Medina of last year.
Jeremy Flores, he gets a wave. There's another beautiful backhand snap to get started for Jeremy. A bit wobbly on the floater, but does well to get his board back under his feet. Tries to throw it up there for a late foam climb, but just can't ride out of that last turn. And he's out in front, but expecting a decent number for Medina as we go to the replay.
Well, you can see how comfortable Gabriel Medina is. It's just how confident he is at grabbing scores from nowhere. This wave, pretty average, and he just tore the lid off. Both of those turns, full power squats. You can just see him lean into that leg power he has. He really has another gear. You can see how strong of a surfer he is. Everyone knows that he's great in the air, but
so explosive. A lot of rail work there as we see CJ Hobgood trying to keep himself in this heat. He throws down a clean layback carve to get started. Some of that beautiful style you were talking about earlier, Ross, and looking for a finish on the inside. CJ always looks so comfortable out here at Cloud Break, all restaurants in Fiji. He is a major force.
He is. You know what? And it's going to be a tough heat for him up against Gabriel Medina, who has quite a bit more firing power. But look how smooth and steezy he is. Great little layback hack there. That wave kind of tricky to surf. It's got all that whitewash on the face. But a clean effort there for CJ, finishing it off with a nice little closeout re-entry. But look out for CJ, you know, as well as Jeremy Flores. If the waves get big and hollow, that's where they can handle guys like Gabriel Medina, and all that power kind of switches over into their hands. So I just hope the waves get nice and heavy tomorrow right on the ledge so we can see a whole different type of competition. That was the most spray we've seen in a while. Watch the displacement. There's the variety right there. The judges love that. Very confident, but wow, that hack, he literally tore the wave apart. What was there on that face, he literally just ripped it a new one. So Gabriel Medina, wow, I'm loving that score. I think it was well worth it, Ronnie.
When Medina first came on the scene, Ross, he really was looking for air sections all the time. He was a little bit more wiry, a bit more cat-like, seemed to be able to land anything. These days, he doesn't need to take to the air as often. He's put so much muscle behind his turns, and as a result, what are we seeing?
I love that first turn too. You saw very smart how he kind of went under the lip line, realizing he was there late, and now he's up on the top of the crest where he really wants to lean into it. Great choice of maneuvers.
And here he goes again. Now he gets the fins freed. Great control. Winds through a little roundhouse cutback before making some speed toward the end section. And he doesn't complete that ride the way he would have liked, but there really wasn't too much more on offer.
He seemed to have found it.
Movement out the back, utilising priority. CJ Hobgood, he's got a nice wall to work with, drives up into the lip, a huge layback snap to get started. Transitioning there on the second manoeuvre. And just keeping busy, looking for a strong finish. Layback carve. It's kind of been the go-to move for CJ. When he wants to put some power into turn, he really does look to push hard on that back foot. And he attempts a little air on the inside and grinds out a clean arc to finish, but he's still going actually. This wave won't give up on him.
What's going on?
And he's just bashing it. That's actually zone. He loves to hang down there as we see Jeremy taking off, trying to stay in this heat. Nice, clean, vertical snap to get started. And another clean belt. Jeremy's looking really sharp. He definitely has ramped up his hunger for competition. In fact, his last finals appearance was in the quarterfinals of the Coldwater Classic at Santa Cruz back in 2012. But here's the replay of CJ.
Wow, I absolutely am in love with that first turn. Such a sick, stylish layback hack from CJ, and a really clean snap for that second maneuver. I'm with you there. You know, that third section, it definitely was slopey, so it didn't provide a lip to, you know, bust the tail out or anything, but I would have liked to have seen him not go to that layback snap. Just don't let the judges think that you're going to be predictable. Amazing how, you know, with this high tide right now coming in, he went forever on this thing. I'm not sure how much extra points he garnered through that inside section, but CJ, you can see, about as comfortable as a surfer can get in a lineup. And I love this choice of maneuvers right here. Again, it's a layback snap, but that is perfect. Right under the lip line, kind of into a layback snap right there. So it went from a carve to sort of a little bit of a hack there. Buckets flying, so awesome technique. After all these years, CJ still got it.
A 5.5, and the way he is surfing, you'd think that he's probably going to replace that at some point in the next 14 minutes. But here is Jeremy's last wave.
Solid first turn, but I like that second one better. A lot more zip through that second snap, and then the rock and roll float there. So I think the judges really loving the fact that he was involved with the most critical part of the wave.
But it is going to go straight to the heat leader, and he drives up into that first section, drifts to the fins for a moment. Big floater, and that wave is going to shut down.
What's he trying to get rid of right now? 5.5. Those two major maneuvers, especially that first snap. Wow. Throwing buckets out the back.
Jeremy Flores is using priority for this ride. He needs to get himself a 7.31 to get into the lead. Massive first turn again from Flores. Grabs the rail. A very fast transition from the bottom of the wave to the top. But he has just missed the final turn on a couple of waves now.
Love this first turn though, Ronnie. Really connects perfect with the top of the wave. Bing. Wow, beautiful turn there for Jeremy. There's that grab rail bottom turn. Watch the second one again. That wave really did get pretty tough though. Had a slopey shoulder on it, and then that funky little closeout section. So it was always going to be a tough finish for Jeremy, but he didn't put it to bed. Two quick maneuvers there. That first snap, really strong from Gabriel. So it might better his top two waves there. And he's just chipping away at it, really staying super busy.
And swooping. Out the back is Gabriel Medina, looking to improve on a 6.33. He just drives that tail to the point of release and maintains control through the turn, but the wave really did give up on him.
Took off in front of him.
Back to live action, and Medina just pumping down the line. Clean transition, re-entry to find this floater section. Plants it with that nice boxy stance, throws the tail, and just arcing back, looking for more on the inside now. But doesn't ride out of that maneuver. Just over a minute to go.
Obviously twin brothers with CJ who's in the water, but Watch how much space, how much ground Gabriel covers with these floaters. That wave is pretty much a closeout. Again, just like a cheetah sprinting for his lunch, so fast. That was amazing. He covered a good 20 yards with that one floater. He was hauling down the line so fast. Even though he didn't finish this wave off, got unstuck with that little tail snap. It didn't matter. I think he will better that 6.3.
As the hooter sounds, Medina really announcing a return to form with some big numbers in that heat.
That was pretty predictable, wasn't it? I definitely, you can't write off Jeremy Flores. He seems dangerous, but I really think he's going to find his groove. Him and CJ, when the waves get nice and hollow and they can rely on that tube riding, they'll be really deadly. But, man, you just knew the riding was on the wall there for Gabriel to hammer that heat.